Okay, great. Welcome everybody. So in terms of props, nothing too particular today except for maybe those bricks. You could use Tupperwares or books as well if you prefer, maybe something low to sit on. But let's get started. Let's come into child's pose. So feel free to take any shape that does work for you. We're just going to get centered for a moment here. And again, child's pose is where I'm going to go. So toes together, knees as wide as you like them. They could be quite wide. Arms could reach forward. They could rest by your sides, in between the legs. Or the variation I'm going to take is fingertips or palms touching to the back of the head. And then to start to connect up with your breath. Maybe taking a few big sighs. Just letting go of what your day has been like so far, whatever's been on your mind. And a big part of the work that we're doing here in our practice is connecting to the flow. And so just noticing, what is your flow today? How does it feel? What does your breath want to do? How does the energy in your body feel? And what is the flow of your life like right now? Sometimes it's, fast moving. Sometimes it's beautiful ripples. Sometimes it's really sticky, right? And all of those things are okay. We're just here to kind of connect up with the flow as it is and maybe ease that flow a little bit if we can. And if you haven't already, let's start to find the Ujjayi Pranayama. So this breath draws itself into the diaphragm. The ribs go wide and lift a little bit on the inhale. And there's a very mild connection to the core on the exhale. And so we start to hear this kind of whispering sound at the back of the throat. And this is one way that we can enter into the flow, kind of smooth it out for ourselves a little bit, starting to connect with that breath. And you're welcome to stay here in your child's pose or whatever shape you're starting in. Or we'll start to move. So we can make our way toward downward facing dog. We'll take a good 10 breaths to get there. So if you want to move through cat and cow or some other kinds of shapes before you come in, that's perfect. And if you'd like to use your playlist today, you're welcome to start it now if you haven't. And just thinking about connecting your movement and your breath together. So if you're doing something like cat and cow, inhaling into the back bend and exhaling to round, and just really allowing this to help you find just what's happening for your body today. So especially if you're newer to my classes, the work that we're doing here is breathing, we're moving, we're feeling. The poses themselves don't matter that much, okay? If you're in the same variation as me or something else, or if you're needing to take a break or rest, all of that is perfect. It's totally okay. I'm more interested in giving you a space to breathe and feel your body as it is, to listen to your body than to do any particular shape, okay? So just keep that in mind as we go through. Okay, so eventually we're in downward dog, and you can keep that intuitive movement going. So maybe bending one knee at a time or swaying the hips. Just make sure you've got a little bit of a bend in the elbows. The shoulders are nice and deep into their sockets. Ideally, your neck can relax. You've got all your knuckles pressing down into the mat, and the elbows are just hugging together slightly. Eventually, we'll walk the feet up to the hands, coming into a standing forward bend. Knees can be as bent as you need, okay, at least a little bit bent. You can rest your elbows on your bent knees if your back is feeling a little sensitive today, like it needs a bit of support. You could also hang down. Try to relax your neck wherever you are. And then we'll roll up. So lean back into your heels, gather belly in, slowly rise. You're welcome to walk your hands up your legs and keep your spine nice and neutral as you come up if that feels safer for you today. Just finding your way to that standing pose. Collecting the shoulders onto the back, finding your feet underneath you, and just allowing your weight to hang back a little bit into the heels. And just noticing what that does for your nervous system, right? Sometimes we really kind of lean forward like we're trying to get somewhere, right? Locking the knees and leaning forward. So what if we soften the knees and let our weight be in the heels? Just notice how that feels kind of in your spirit. And then place your palms over top of your heart. And just breathe and feel. Okay, so I'd like to move through Hridaya Namaskar today. Heart salutation. I love this sequence. If you have blocks, you might want to set them up just so that they're handy up near the top of your mat. Sometimes I like to put a blanket down at the top third of my mat, just so that I have a space to protect my knees. And we'll kind of go from there, okay? So coming to stand at the top of your mat if you're not there already. Catch up with your breath. Hook your thumbs, bend your knees, reach forward and up as you inhale. As you exhale, interlace your fingers around behind your back. Press the fists down, lift the heart up, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, fold forward. Halfway lift, fists go back, heart forward. Exhale, fingertips land on the blocks or the floor. Right leg rises to the sky on the inhale, and as you exhale, step the foot back and land the knee gently. Heart and hands rise, hook the thumbs if you can, press the hips forward. And then straighten that front leg, hands to blocks or the floor. You can untuck your back toes. Inhale, wave your heart forward. Exhale, melt over your leg. Okay, inhale, lengthening forward. Exhale, melt, little bend in that front knee, foot is flexed. One more like that. Okay, look forward. Next time you exhale, so take your time, step your front foot back so that you're on your knees, toes tucked if your knees are okay with that. Walk your fingertips forward and wide. Your bum is going up and slightly behind your knees. Heart is melting. And the feeling here is that your heart is kind of tractioning back towards your thighs. Anahatasana, heart melting pose. Nice deep breath here. And inhale. And as you exhale, come all the way to your belly. Point your toes. Take your fingertips wide off your mat to the right and the left. Inhale, lift your heart up any amount. Exhale and come down. Inhale, lift your heart up, then look right. And if you're feeling safe here, dip your left shoulder down towards the earth. So you're twisting your upper body up through center. And then look to the left and you can add that right shoulder coming down. Up through center. Exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. Place the palms and make your way back to downward facing dog. Okay, right leg is going to rise to the sky on your inhale. You could do this from your hands and your knees as well. And then step that foot through best as you can. Back knee comes down, heart and hands rise. Inhale, hooking the thumbs. Straighten your front leg, hands come down. You can untuck your back toes if that's more comfortable for your knee. 3 breaths here, lengthen and melt. Lengthen and melt. And again. Okay, then we're going to look forward. Bend into your front leg, walk your hands forward. Feel free to use your blocks here. Next time you inhale, back leg is gonna rise like a little standing L. And then as you exhale, both feet come to the earth beside each other. Bend the knees generously, hook your thumbs, rise up, press into the heels. Exhale, interlace your fingers around behind your back. Press the fist down, lift your heart up. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift, heart forward, fist back. Exhale, hands to the blocks or the floor. Left leg rises to the sky, inhaling. Exhale, step the foot back, knee comes down. Take your time, okay? Hook the thumbs, rise into your low lunge. Straighten your front leg, hands come down. 3 breaths here. Again, take your time. You can close your eyes. Remember, it doesn't really matter the poses, okay? It matters that you're breathing, that you're present with your body. That's the work, that's the practice. And then inhale, lengthen forward. Step your front foot back so you're on your knees. Anahatasana, melting heart pose. Bum is kind of sticking up, heart melts to the earth. Try to have your wrist lifted. Inhale, and on your next exhale, slither to your belly. Point your toes, fingertips off your mat to the right and left. Anchor the pubic bone, lift the heart. Exhale and melt. Okay, inhale, lift the heart, look left. Exhale, dip your right shoulder if that feels safe and comfortable. Up through center. Look right, and you can add that left shoulder. Try to keep your pelvis steady. It's just your upper back that's moving. Lengthen and release to the earth. Place the palms by your chest and stretch back to downward facing dog. Let's just take a breath here to kind of catch up with ourselves. Exhale out your mouth if you want. Good. Left leg is going to rise to the sky on your inhale. Step the foot through. Low lunge, hook your thumbs, rise up, press the hips forward. Exhale, straighten the front leg, hands come down. Feel free to use your blocks here if they're helpful. Lengthen as you inhale. And melt. 2 more, your pace, your depth. Doesn't matter what it looks like, okay? Yeah, and then we're gonna look forward. On the exhale, bend into the front leg, walk the fingertips forward, and on your next inhale, the back leg rises any amount. And then the feet come beside each other, forward fold. Bend your knees, hook your thumbs, rise all the way up, straighten the legs. And then palms over your heart. Take a deep breath. Feel the flow. Let's keep going. Bend your knees, hook your thumbs, rise all the way up. Exhale, interlace your fingers around behind your back. Press the fist down, lift the heart up, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Halfway lift, heart forward, fist back. Fingertips come down onto the blocks or the floor. As before, right leg rises to the sky. This time as you exhale, land the foot and we're going to come into a high lunge. So bend the knee, hug the inner thighs, rise up, inhale. Again, you can hook the thumbs. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down. And I like using the blocks here. I find they're helpful. I'm lengthening my stance just a bit. And then I'm inhaling, hips and heart come forward. Exhale, pull belly in, straighten both legs, and maybe flex that front foot. Okay, inhale, hips and heart come forward. So it's a nice long, low lunge. Exhale, pull belly in, round forward. One more like that. My back heel is lifted up really high as well. Okay, inhale, bend the knee, look forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. So I'm connecting my palms, step back. You can take that same variation that we were doing before, or we'll take a full vinyasa here. So coming forward into plank, you could do that on your knees. And then we're going to do a little bit of a push-up. So it might just be a little mini one, doesn't have to be far. And then you can take cobra or upward facing dog. So that means pulling your heart through your straight arms, hips are lifted, just really pulling those shoulders down away from the ears, and then back to downward facing dog. Okay, take a breath to reset. Okay, this could absolutely be done from hands and knees. Okay, otherwise from downward dog, take your right leg up to the sky. And as you exhale, bring the knee in towards your nose. Shoulders might come over the wrists if the shoulders and wrists are happy with that. And then extend the leg up, inhale. Bring the knee across to the left arm. Send the leg up to the sky and then to the right arm. So it's coming a little bit wide. Try to touch if you can. Inhale, extend the leg to the sky. Exhale, the foot comes through between the hands. Okay, bend both knees. We're coming into high lunge. Hook the thumbs if you can. Woo. And then hands are coming down to the blocks or the floor. Might want to lengthen your stance a little bit. Hips and heart come forward as you inhale. And as you exhale, pull belly in, hug inner thighs, and fold. 2 more like that. Again, don't worry about what it looks like. Just being in the flow of your breath is enough. If you prefer the earlier variation, you can absolutely do that here with the back knee down. Okay, and then bend the knee, look forward, inch the blocks or the hands forward. Next time you inhale, the leg lifts to the sky, back leg, and then both feet beside each other, forward fold. Bend your knees, hook your thumbs, rise on up. Interlace the fingers around behind your back. Press the fists down, lift the heart up. Fold down, exhale. Halfway lift, heart forward, fists back. Fingertips land to the floor of the blocks. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step back. High lunge. Okay, inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands come down. Hips and heart come forward. Inhale. Exhale, straighten both legs. Flex the front foot if you can. Inhale. And exhale with your breath. One more time. Okay, forward. And then downward dog as you exhale. Find your vinyasa. Okay, take the variation that works for you. Cat and cow is a vinyasa. Okay, just keep that in mind. Otherwise, we're coming to plank. Little push up. Pulling through into your back bend. Back to downward dog. Take a breath to reset. Exhale out your mouth if you want. Left leg rises. Feel free to have your right knee down. That's fine. Exhale, knee to nose. Extend the leg. Knee to right elbow. Inhale. Knee to left elbow. Extend the leg. Step it through. Last time through the sequence. Bend that back knee a little bit. Come through your high lunge. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, hips and heart forward. Exhale, straighten any amount. 2 more. Follow your breath. Good. And then inhale, look forward. Exhale, prepare. Bring the hands forward. Back leg is going to rise to the sky in your inhale. And then both feet land. Exhale. Bend your knees, hook your thumbs, rise up. And then bring your hands over top of your heart. Take a moment to breathe, to feel. Check in with your flow. Okay, from here, inhale. Then bend your knees. Reach your fingertips towards the earth and then forward and up, coming into a little bit of a Utkatasana shape, fierce pose, okay? Inhale and then lower just a little bit as you exhale. And then as you inhale, rise a bit. So we're just gonna pulse slightly with the breath. Okay, I'm lifting my toes right up off the mat here. Back is neutral, core is engaged, and try to keep the shoulders down the back. So don't worry about how high up you're lifting the arms. My intention here is for you to feel your glutes, okay? Okay, one more. Then hook your thumbs, stand up. You can give your bum a little squeeze as you stand, and then release your fingers around behind your back. Interlace the fingers. We'll be here a little bit longer. If you prefer holding a strap or a dowel behind you, feel free to grab that here, okay? You can also hook your thumbs if that works better for you. Hug your elbows together, press the fist down, lift your heart, let your chest open. And then when you're ready, bend your knees and fold down. And again, we're gonna stay here for a couple of breaths. So knees are at least a little bit bent. You can also straighten one leg and turn your chest in that direction. Bend both knees and then straighten the other way. So that's just like a little massage for the chest and the legs. Okay, and then when you're ready, hands down the backs of the legs towards the earth. Take a halfway lift, and then as you exhale, sit your bum down and lay on your back, please. Okay, so we're gonna check in with a little bit of core work here. I'm gonna start nice and functional, and we'll build up depending on where you're at. So start with the feet on the floor, knees up to the sky, middle fingers on the hip points, thumbs on the ribs. Draw your pelvic floor in and up, okay? Like you were trying to not go to the bathroom is sort of the contraction of the pelvic floor. And then think about your belly button scooping back and up towards your heart. And these 4 points that your fingers are on gathering in together. Okay, your back stays the same the whole time. Next time you inhale, lift your right foot up off the ground a couple of inches. And as you exhale, put it back down. And then lift the left foot a few inches off the ground and then put it back down. Okay, so we're gonna keep on just working with the functionality here. So pelvic floor is drawing in and up, belly button is pressing back, the 4 corners are pulling in together, and you could feel your belly. So the thing I want you to think about is that the muscles, they're not popping forward, they're drawing in and up. So that is the direction of the muscles, if you can kind of think about it that way. Now, feel free to keep going here. This is really nice core rehabilitation. It's great if you've got some lower back stuff going on, if you want to be a little gentler with your core, or if you're just feeling like this is where I'm at today and this is great. Okay, otherwise, you can lift your shoulder blades up off the mat. Make sure that your belly doesn't pop forward when you do that. You can take a peek, but then look up at the sky. Okay, and then you can keep doing the marching or bring your knees in. Again, just check back in with your belly. Inhale, and as you exhale, right leg goes out to straighten. You can bring your elbow to your left knee. Inhale, exhale, left leg goes out and you're twisting. Okay, so just moving with your breath to the degree that works for you. Keeping that intention of belly drawing in and up. Okay, don't worry about completely straightening the leg. Again, we're not so concerned with aesthetics here so much as are you feeling some work in your core that feels functional? You're not getting stressed. Okay, and we're thinking about working to fatigue. So keep going as you are, or if you want to change it up a little bit, we'll just take a slightly different variation. So I'm just ending on the left here, and then I'm going to reset both legs up to the sky. And then we're still twisting, but we're going to work with straight legs. So it's just going to feel a little bit different. And we're still working to draw that belly in and up. Yeah, so we're getting the transverse abdominis going. Okay, we're not overly pushing the lower back into the mat. And we're not worrying about how far down the leg is going. We're just working with a little bit of work, a little bit of fatigue, and keeping that belly drawing in. So the thing about fatigue is that when you start to feel it, that's when you'll start to compensate. Okay, so we just want to go to that edge point where we're stressing, maybe that's not the right word, but we're using the muscles a little bit, but we're not stressing them out so much that they give up on us. Okay. Nice. Okay, this is my last round here. And relax. So hug the knees into the chest, give yourself a little rock from side to side. I often like happy baby after a little bit of core, or you can do this one with me, it's quite gentle. I'm just gonna hold a knee in each hand and gently separate them apart and away from my face. And then I'll bring them back up. And apart and away from my face. So I'm just kind of massaging the inner thighs a little bit. All right. Okay, so from here, let's make our way back into downward facing dog. So you can rock and roll forward and back along your spine. Some of you might know how to jump back. Okay, you can also roll to one side, and that's going to be better for you if you're pregnant or working with some diastasis or something like that, or lower back pain. And just kind of crawl yourself through to your downward dog. And then take the vinyasa that works for you. So vinyasa means a bunch of different things. Okay, one of the things it means is a sequence that we return to, like a routine, okay? So classically, it's this plank, chaturanga, back bend thing, but it could be cat and cow, it could be any variation on that. It could be the one that we did in the heart salutation with anahatasana and the little cobras. So feel free to take it where you want it, okay? Or follow me. I'm gonna take them a little bit more classic one, my version, of course. So that means plank, little push up, and then upward facing dog, pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. And we'll come back to downward dog and then to the top of the mat. So you can walk if you like, if you want, you can hop lightly. However you feel best to make it to the top of your mat is great. And then rise up in your favorite way. So that could be rolling up, it could be sweeping up in one breath. Take your time. And then find your Tadasana, you're standing, just kind of noticing the core work that we've done. Again, maybe leaning into your heels slightly and noticing what that feels like energetically. Softening your knees a bit. Okay, bend your knees even a little bit more. Reach your arms up as you inhale, hook the thumbs, but this time curve over to the right as you exhale. So slight lengthening of the tailbone here. Neck is relatively soft, just breathing into the side body. Up through center, and then on an exhale, over to the left. Again, tailbone is just lengthening a little bit. Neck is relatively relaxed. Up through center, release the hands, interlace the fingers or hook the thumbs behind you. Hug the elbows, lift the heart. Fold forward, just like we've been talking about. Halfway lift, fist back, heart forward, fingertips land. Go ahead and lift your right leg just like we did in the heart salutation, and then step the foot back and land the knee. We're going to be here a little bit longer, so if you do want to pad your knee, just take the time to do that. Feel free to. You can also double fold your mat as a nice way to do that, okay? And then come up into your low lunge, hugging the inner thighs together, draw tailbone down, just reach your arms straight up for now. Okay, and then bring the hands together in front of the heart, okay? So think about pelvis being nice and square, core gently engaged, and then twist to the left. I'm gonna give you a couple options here. Option one, you're gonna place your right palm on your heart. I'm just turning away from you, but just so you can see. And the left arm is gonna reach back. So that's gonna be a little bit of a shoulder opening twist, okay? Option two, you're gonna hook your right elbow across your thigh and take a little bit more of a compressive twist, okay? So two options, just they feel a little bit different. See which one works for you. Wherever you are, draw the belly in, the shoulders down the back, and the heart lifting. Okay. If you've got your elbow on your thigh, resist your thigh into your elbow a little bit. And in either of these variations, you can lift up the back knee if you want to. Breathe. Okay, inhale. And then we're going to come into triangle. So release your hands to either side of your front foot. Pick up your back knee if it's down. Draw it in a little and land the heel so that the toes turn open to the side. Your left hand can come up on your leg, just above or below the knee, and the right arm opens to the sky. Notice if you're really leaning forward, okay, over your leg, think about squeezing the bum, pressing the hips forward, and leaning back as if there was a wall behind you that you were trying to lean back into. Reach that right arm up and gently open the chest. Breathe. Nice and long through the sides of the waist. Okay, from here, lighten up on your bottom hand so that you're floating. Notice that you need to use the side waist in order to allow yourself to do that. You might need to rise a little bit. Okay, and then from there, bend into the front leg. Walk your back foot a little bit farther back, okay, for warrior two. Draw the tailbone down, lengthen through the sides of the waist, and just take a little circle for your wrists. Then reach your arms up, hook your thumbs, and take a little side bend towards the back of your mat. Again, you need to use your side waist and your core to keep yourself sort of from collapsing here. So really press into that back heel, draw tailbone down a little bit, breathe. Inhale, and then spin down, downward facing dog. Optionally move through Vinyasa. You're more than welcome to rest in child's pose here if that's what you need. And again, Vinyasa I'm working with today, plank pose. The little push-up has the elbows in together, and you want to think of your heart coming forward and down, and then we push up into our upward facing dog. Back to downward dog from there. Okay, meet me on hands and knees, please. Get your hands right underneath your shoulders, and you're welcome to put your make your hands into fists if your wrists are feeling a little bit sensitive. Okay, gather your belly in, extend your right leg up to the sky. Okay, from here, draw your heel in a little closer to your bum. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring your knee in towards your chest and then open to the right. Circle the knee back up to the sky. And do that a couple more times. So try to keep your shoulders nice and square. Nothing else is moving. We're getting a little bit of that outer hip working. Keep your gaze steady, breathing steady. 2 more if you can. Okay, and then extend the heel up to the sky. Stay there, or left arm comes forward. So working with a little bit of balance here. Stay there, or turn that left thumb down, reach back behind you, grab the toes, and take a little bit of a back bend. Pressing the toes into the hand. Core is engaged, but you're letting the shoulder come back. Okay, inhale, and then warrior one. So release the hand, step your foot in between your hands, tuck those back toes under, lift the knee and land the heel so that the toes point forward at about a 45-degree angle. Hug your inner thighs, rise up. Okay, so your heels are about hips width apart. Hips are squaring, tailbone is drawing down, back leg is nice and straight and strong. Square your ribs forward and take a couple breaths into your back ribs, trying to lift the ribs back and up off the hips. Okay, release your hands around behind your back. Again, hook your thumbs or grab your strap. Hug the elbows together, lift the heart, squeeze that left thumb. Maybe deepen into the lunge a little bit. Inhale, and release the hands to the hips, straighten your front leg. Keep the shoulders back, tip the bum back, and reach the hands down to the blocks or the floor. Kind of like we did in our heart salutation, lengthen the heart forward and melt. Lengthen and melt. And one more. Beautiful. Okay, stay right here, pressing into the ball of the right big toe. Draw that right hip back. But then walk your hands towards the upper left corner of your mat, even right off your mat, and lean your hips back slightly. So you're gonna just get a little bit of a different experience of the stretch here. Nice, and then walk your hands back through center. Briefly pick up that back leg like we did in the heart salutation to land both feet beside each other. Forward fold, bend your knees, hook your thumbs, rise on up. And then hands over top of the heart. Take a moment to feel. Connect to the flow. Beautiful, everybody. Okay, once again, bend those knees, hook your thumbs, rise up. Release your hands, interlace them around behind your back or hook your thumbs. Press the elbows together, hands down, lift the heart, and fold to the earth. Halfway lift, fist back, heart forward, fingertips release to the earth. Left leg rises to the sky, just like we've been practicing, and then step the foot back and land your knee to the earth for low lunge. So squaring the hips, rise on up. Okay, just finding our alignment here. So just taking a moment to lengthen the tailbone, press the hips forward. So ideally you're feeling a bit of a stretch in your quad. Okay, patting the knee if you need to, and then bring the hands together at your heart. And then either place the left palm across your heart, reach back with the right hand, so that's option one. Or lean forward, take your elbow across your thigh, line up the forearm bones and take your twist. So I like to really let my hips come forward in this twist. And I'm trying to pull my shoulders back, and I want the twist to really be in the upper back. So I'm kind of squeezing my left thumb to keep my hips level, and I'm imagining the right thumb kind of hugging in towards the midline at the same time. You can lift up your back knee if you want. That's just going to be a little bit of a different feeling there. Try to breathe deeply. Okay, nice, you guys. Inhale, then we'll gently release the hands to the earth or the blocks. We're coming into triangle. So back knee is lifting, back heel is landing, climbing up that bottom leg, and we're reaching the left arm to the sky. And I'm just gonna flip around so that I'm still facing you here. So think strong legs, strong sides of the waist, so they're nice and long. Okay, you're not in a big side bend here. In this case, there's different intentions we can work with triangle. Chest is opening. Okay, and then lighten up on that bottom hand. So we just want to see that we can indeed use the obliques, the sideways, to support ourselves. If you need to come up a little bit higher, you can. So this shouldn't feel like you're about to topple over necessarily. Come up a little higher if you feel that way. Okay, and then bend the knee, and we're just settling into warrior two. So I'm lengthening the stance a bit. Okay, from here, reach your arms up, hook your thumbs, and then lean to the back. So keep the tailbone nice and long, core gently engaged. And keep pressing the right knee over the ankle. So it might start to kind of want to go in, so press it back towards the outer arch of your foot. Awesome. Inhale, and then gently release. Make your way all the way back into your downward facing dog and take whatever version of Vinyasa is working for you right now. Okay, meet me on your hands and your knees, please. Okay, draw that belly in. Palms or fists are connected, shoulders down the back, left heel lifts. Bring it a little closer to your bum. And we're going to take some nice slow circles. Knee comes in to the chest. The spine doesn't change. The knee opens to the left. And then back up to the sky. And it's really that opening to the left moment that you'll feel, strengthening the outer hips. Taking about 5 of these, nice and slow. Awesome. And then the heel will stay up to the sky. You can stay right here or try reaching your right arm forward, finding your balance there. You can turn the thumb down, reach back, hold the foot, kick the foot into your hand, try to draw that shoulder back. Nice. And then gently release, draw the left knee in, step it forward. We're coming to warrior one, back heel lands, and rise. So the main difference between warrior two and warrior one is the hips are square and the feet are wider, okay? So it's like a long walking stride, kind of. So rising up, ribs are square, tailbone's drawing down, breathe. And then take your hands around behind your back, hook thumbs, or use your strap. Press the fist down, open your heart, so taking a little bit more of a back bend shape. Okay, inhale, then straighten your front leg. Square the hips. You can shorten your stance a little bit too if you need to. Hands come towards the earth. Use your blocks if they're helpful, if you have them. Lengthen as you inhale and melt. A couple more of those. Pressing into the left big toe mound, drawing that hip back. You can stay or try walking your hands to the upper right edge of your mat, melting your heart and leaning your weight slightly left. Okay, and then when you're ready, gently walk the hands back through center. Let's pick up that back leg briefly and step the feet together. Take a halfway lift, exhale, melt, and then rise up any way that you like to rise. So rolling, sweeping up in one breath is great. Just take your time. When you get there, placing your hands over top of your heart, and just taking a moment to feel your flow, how it may be changing as we move through our practice. That's not to judge or try to do anything in particular to it, but just really noticing, being in that flow. Okay, so from here, let's work with just a little bit of balancing. So you're going to lean into your right foot, pick up your left and hold on to it. Okay, feel free to have a wall if you're kind of working with your balance. Otherwise, have your palm over top of your heart. Okay. Hug the inner thighs together, micro bend your right leg, draw your tailbone down, hug your heel into your bum, squeeze your bum and draw the tailbone down. So you should feel a pretty good opening into your quadricep here. And we're just working with balance. So looking at something that's not moving, looking at the floor is going to be just a little bit easier than looking at the horizon, which is just a little bit easier than looking up. Okay, and then let's release that. I like to bring the knee forward and straighten the leg and then release. Okay, we'll take the second side. Leaning left, hold on to your right foot with your right hand, left palm over your heart, hugging the inner thighs, squeeze the bum, draw the tailbone down, press the foot into the hand a little bit, hand into the foot. So you're hugging the heel into the bum, and you should feel a pretty specifically a quadricep stretch here, just right at the front of the thigh. Working with your balance, breathing, your core is just gently engaged here. It doesn't have to be overly tense or anything like that. Okay, and then let's release that. If you're willing, bring the knee in, straighten the leg, and then place the foot down. And let's just give the hands a little shake. You can give the feet a little shake too. So here's a little sequence that we're gonna work with together. So feel free to watch first. Actually, let's just do this together. There's gonna be a few different elements, and I'll just go slowly so you can kind of see what we're doing, but we'll work with it together, and we'll do it on both sides, okay? So I've got a block in my right hand. If you don't have a block, you don't have to. It just makes it a little bit easier, okay? And I'm going to lift my toes up, spread them apart and reconnect them to the earth. Then I'm leaning into my right leg, and I want to really kind of plug everything in from the right leg to my heart. I'm going to micro bend that right leg, start to dip forward, but I'm going to open up at the same time. Okay, so I'm coming into a floating triangle pose, also known as half moon or Ardha Chandrasana. I'm going to try to place that block just about in line with my pinky toe and open the hips to the side wall. Okay, so again, it's triangle on one leg. I'm looking down. You can look to the side, it's just way harder. That back foot is flexed, and I want to have my heart long. Okay, so I'm trying to get it right in line with my hip. Okay, if this is feeling pretty good and you want to try a little bit more here, bend the back leg, reach for the foot and hold on to it. Kick the foot into the hand and allow your spine to arch a little bit. Keep the core engaged. Ardha Chandrasana. Like a sideways dancer's pose, kind of. Okay, and then from here, we're gonna release the foot if you've got it, float back into triangle. So bend the front leg and just briefly rise up. You can straighten the front leg, lift up, lean back, and then we're gonna spin all the way into three-legged downward facing dog. So connecting the palms, right leg lifts back and up. So feel free to take a peek if you're new to Wild Thing, okay? So you can open your hips, bend the knee, stay, or here's Wild Thing. I'm gonna step my left hand forward a little, let the right foot land behind me, and I'm trying to get the outer arch of my left foot on the mat. Left leg is straight. I'm on the ball of my right foot, and I'm trying to turn my heart open to the sky. I could also hold the back of my head, and I just have a little bend in my left elbow so my shoulder isn't jamming into my ear. So feel free to try that. One breath is great, stay longer if you want. And then we're returning to downward dog. And then we can take Vinyasa or child's pose. Okay, so from downward dog, we'll walk back up to the top of mat. Take a halfway lift, fold, and then let's bend the knees, look forward and rise up, placing the hands over top of the heart. Okay, so we're going to try that on the second side. And again, I'll just go through slowly so that you can see what I'm doing, but feel free to follow along with any parts of it that you feel comfortable doing. And of course, you can skip any parts of the sequence that you want to skip. That's completely fine. Okay, so lifting the toes, spreading them apart, reconnecting them, lean left, and we want to kind of plug the right leg into the socket. We're bending the left leg a little bit, and we're dipping forward and opening the hips, but you kind of want this feeling like your whole right side is just staying connected like one long line. So it doesn't look this way, but the only joint that's moving is actually your standing hip. Okay, the right side of the body looks the same as if you were standing on the ground. Okay, you've got nice long through both sides of the waist, supported in that way. For me, looking down is really the key. If I look to the side, I usually fall over. You're certainly welcome to work on that if you want to. And then you might bend the back leg, reach for the foot, press the foot into the hand, allow the shoulder to roll back, open the chest. So again, don't feel like you have to do this variation. It's a little bit more challenging. You're going to work with your balance a little bit more there. But I like just getting my shoulder back. If this is one of our anti-sitting poses, right? Okay, and then we'll release that and we'll come back through, it's warrior two actually, bending the front leg, but you can straighten it right away. Reach up and lean back, so exalted triangle, just as a transition, spin down, three-legged downward facing dog, so the left leg goes up to the sky. Okay, stay here, this is perfect. You could even have your right knee down, or bend that top leg and open the hips, and this is great, you can stay here. So much of wild thing pose is just falling over, okay? But I'll give you the clues about it here. So the right hand is coming forward a bit, and then I'm tipping over. So I'm letting my left foot land, but I want to be on the ball of that left foot. The knee points straight up, and I'm on the outer arch of my right foot. I'm pushing into everything that is connected to the floor to lift my heart up. And I have a little bend in the right elbow, which helps to prevent me from jamming my shoulder. That's wild thing. Or rock star, it's called sometimes. And we come back to downward dog. There's a last vinyasa for you here if you want one. Okay, and then we'll meet on our bellies. Okay, so however you want to get there, through plank or just kind of slithering forward, come on down to your belly. And just take a moment here. So we're gonna do, let's do 2 back bends. Just nice symmetrical back bends to kind of pull together everything that we've been doing. And you know, not all back bends work for everybody. There are benefits to all of them, but they're all different. Okay, so I'll offer a couple, but if you have favorite back bends, things that you really prefer to do, please feel free to take those. Okay, these will kind of make sense with everything we've been doing in class today. So you're gonna press the tops of your feet into the mat, chin or forehead down, hook your thumbs around by your low back, or grab your strap if that's more comfortable for you, and just hold your strap with your 2 hands if you're a bit tighter in the shoulders, okay? Legs are strong, pubic bone presses down. Think of pulling the hands apart and down towards the feet. Gently engage the core and rise up any amount. Okay, think long heart. So it's not that we're trying to get up really high. We're just trying to get a little bit open here. Okay, you might try floating the feet off the ground. See how that feels. That's going to engage more of your back muscles, which may or may not be a good thing for you today, right? Long neck. Inhale, and when you're ready, come down. You can take a cheek to the mat. Relax your bum, relax your belly. Nice deep breath. Okay, now you can take that same variation again, or we'll try bow. So you can bend your legs, hold onto your feet. Your hips are going to lift a little bit, which is okay. You don't have to really overly press the pubic bone down for this necessarily. Okay, I do want you though to engage the core. So pelvic floor lifting, belly drawing in and up. Okay, I often like to do this with my feet flexed if I have the space that day. You don't have to. Think of hugging the inner thighs together a little bit, just activate everything. And then begin to push the feet into the hands. And I like to think of this one as really using the strength of the legs to allow the shoulders to roll back. So I'm not so worried about how high up I'm going. I just want this feeling of my heart melting between my thighs. Or sorry, between my shoulders. That would be hard in this place. Neck is long. Not trying to get anywhere, just trying to get that opening. And you'll notice this is bridge pose upside down. So if you're needing to be in bridge or somewhere else, that's perfect. Okay, and then when you're ready, let that go. Come on down, opposite cheek to the mat. And just kind of puddle out a little bit, let your heels drop. Let your belly relax, let go of any ujjayi breath. For the moment, you can sigh if you want. Okay, take your arms into a cactus and bend your right knee up towards your right elbow. Looking to the right, just breathing into your lower back. Lift your chest a little, thread your left arm under. We're going to come into a little bit of a twist. So you can reach your right arm up and open. You can keep your knee like this. It's okay if it floats off the floor. If it's uncomfortable at all though, bring the knees together. For some people that works a little bit better on the back. This should feel quite nice on the back after that back bend, so it shouldn't be uncomfortable at all. Okay, and then when you're ready, roll back where you came from, belly. Okay, cactus arms, look left. Bring your left knee up to your left elbow. Relax your belly right now. And lift your chest a little bit, thread your right arm under, roll your left arm open. And feel free to stay. It's fine for the knee to be by itself there, or you can bring the two knees together. My back is a little sensitive sometimes, so I do usually like the knees together here. And again, this should feel totally safe and comfortable. It should feel like a release for your lower back. Okay, you're ready, rolling back to your belly. And then we'll press into child's pose. So again, knees as wide as you want them. If the knees are closer, you'll get a little more rounding in the back, which you might want after those back bends. So just be aware that you have some self-regulation that you can do in these postures. Just still a nice soft breath. Okay, when you're ready, come on up to your seat. Swing your legs over to one side. Bring your legs out in front of you. And you may want to sit on a little piece of support here. We're going to do a little hip release, which everybody loves, hip release. Okay, legs are straight. Take your right ankle across your left thigh and bend your left knee up. Fingertips behind you, shoulders onto your back. Press your heart towards your shin. You can rock from side to side, or you can walk your left foot to the right, stack the shins, and then work on folding forward. So keep the feet flexed. This is called double pigeon, and I find it's not that it's some super advanced hip opening, it's just that some people's bones go this way and some people's don't. So don't judge yourself if you're finding this uncomfortable. Just go back to the previous variation. My hips happen to go really easily in this shape, so I do like the pose. But if yours don't, and you don't like the pose, that is okay. You don't have to feel that way, right? You want to find a place that works for you. All right, and then gently come back to where you were here. Release the legs. You can take a little wash from side to side. And then we'll come to the second side. So left ankle to right thigh. Fingertips behind you, pressing your heart towards the shin. And stay here or walk the right foot to the left until the shins stack. And then fold. So your shins may not perfectly stack, but it might still feel good. You could put props underneath or in between just to kind of fill those spaces, and you might find that that works a lot better for you too. Just folding any amount. Okay, and then when you're ready, gently coming back up. Release the legs. You can take those windshield wipers. And then find your seat on your mat and just lay right down onto your back. Okay, so option one, we're cooling down towards Shavasana. There's just one last stop I want to make first. So option one, you can take legs up the wall. If you happen to have a wall, that's great. You just swing your legs up the wall. It is what it sounds like. You can also put your legs over a couch, over a chair, with or without a little prop under your bum. If you don't have a wall, or you can't be asked, or you're going to take the next variation with me, you can have a little prop under your bum and just elevate your legs. Okay, so the knees can be a little bit bent. This should feel pretty relaxed, like as little effort as possible. Okay, otherwise we're going to come into shoulder stand. So shoulder stand is a really beneficial pose, but it's not great if you have neck issues. So if you have any neck issues, take that legs up the wall, take that elevated Viparita Karani, it's called, or any other shape that works for you, okay? If you are going to take shoulder stand with me, feel free to do that. But if you get any red lights, if anything feels uncomfortable in your neck, just come right down. And do be aware that once you're in the pose, do not look around. Okay, you want to keep your neck straight. You don't want to be twisting your neck while you might potentially have pressure on it. So if you want to see it, watch it first and then do it, but don't try to look around while you're in the pose, okay? So here's how I like to do it. Laying on my back, I like to dig my elbows into the mat beside my ribs, push them down and apart, and that's just going to help get my shoulder blades on the back. This is shoulder stand, not neck stand. Okay, we actually shouldn't have the bones of our neck on the ground for this at all. Ideally, the shoulders are doing it. Okay, legs go up and there's a little swing, push, push, pressing the elbows, grab the lower back. So you can be in this kind of 45-degree version, and I have some of my upper back vertebrae on the ground, but I'm going to try to straighten, get my shoulders under me, and I'm actually getting my vertebrae off the ground. Okay, I'm pressing the back of my head lightly into the mat so that my chin, there's space between my chin and my chest. And breathe. Aiming for about 10 breaths here, maybe more. Okay, and then you can take plow if you like. Feet come over your head towards the earth. If the feet are floating, just keep your hands on your lower back. If the toes comfortably touch, you can interlace the fingers and maybe even get the shoulders a bit closer together. And you could try pointing your toes and see how that feels. I forget what this one is called, but if you're pointing your toes, you could bend your knees kind of around your ears. It's like, I always think of that as like, if you were gonna fit in a suitcase, maybe that's the pretzel you would take. Okay, when you're ready to come down, hands on the back, just roll on down. You don't have to come back through shoulder stand. And just take a moment to lay on your back. So if you're in legs at the wall and you're happy and comfortable there, feel free to stay. I'm gonna offer fish. And I love fish for so many reasons. It's a great counterpose to shoulder stand, but it's great just on its own. So feel free to join us if you'd like. So I'm laying on the back. I'm gonna lift up the bum, sit on the hands, palms face down, thumbs touch. And then I'm gonna straighten my arms. So I'm actually sitting on my forearms. And then straighten my legs, squeeze the feet together. I'm gonna press into my elbows and hands, lift my chest up and open my throat, coming lightly to the crown of the head. And then I'm pressing the elbows down and apart to open the chest. This is just an area that doesn't always get opening and it feels so good. When you're ready, gently sliding the back of the head down, release your hands, and we're ready for Shavasana. So feel free to add your layers, put your bolster under your knees, or just rest. Just extending the legs, flopping out. Breathing into your belly. Soaking up your practice and staying present with what is happening for you in terms of your flow. How you're connecting to the rhythm in your body, the rhythm in your life. If you're feeling a little bit more in the flow now, or not, just noticing and resting. And feel free to stay in your rest as long as you'd like. Otherwise, you can start to deepen your breath and bring some small movements into your body. Maybe stretch out. Eventually, you can bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a little hug, and then roll to one side. When you're ready, press yourself up to a comfortable seat. And I'll invite you to place your palms over top of your heart. But you can take any shape with your hands, any mudra that feels right for you. And then take a moment to bow your mind to your hands, just honoring and acknowledging the flow, all of those energies that you can and cannot control, the ways that you fit in to that flow and don't. Just letting all of that be okay. Honoring and acknowledging the long, complex lineage of teachers that is with us when we practice our yoga. Honoring and acknowledging the land that we practice on, wherever that may be in the world. And for me, that's Plains Cree and Blackfoot land in Treaty 6 territory. And thank you for sharing your practice with me. Till next time.